Today in the news, AMD does more with less, Intel doesn't have room, and Amazon deploys the hammer. What's up guys, I'm Snows, and this is your boot sequence. Let's get started with AMD. In the latest generation of GPUs, the company made a pretty surprising move that caught pretty much, everyone off guard. In the past, AMD was generally the company with a larger memory bus on their GPUs, no matter what tier of card you would pick. They were even the first to introduce HBM into the mix with the Fury series, and these had a whopping 4096-bit bus. And yes, I know, memory bus width doesn't dictate performance. I'm just making an observation here. Anyways, in the latest generation of GPUs for AMD, the performance increased significantly. I mean, in rastered performance, the 6900 XT competes with the RTX 3090, so that's pretty good. And with faster performance, well, you need a bigger bus to let the GPU access off GPU data fast. So Nvidia went with a 384-bit bus, and AMD with a 256-bit one. Yep, the exact same as the last generation 5700 XT. Well, that's because the company didn't change the bus width of the GPU, but instead made the clever decision to increase the cached amount of data significantly to reduce usage of the memory bus. That's the infinity cache. Now, what seems insane to me is that AMD is apparently going to push that to its absolute limits for Rdna 3. The leaker, Greymon55, over on Twitter, recently dropped a few nuggets of information that are pretty interesting in my opinion. Coming back to the memory bus, he says that Navi 33, so that should be something like 2 steps down of the top of the line, so probably the RX 7600 XT. Anyways, that specific Navi 33 would have a 128-bit bus. Now you might say, well, yeah, that's small, but the 6600 XT also has a 128-bit bus, so what's the difference? Well, apparently, Navi 33 would outperform, or at least AMD is targeting to outperform, the 6900 XT, the creme de la creme from AMD. That's an insane amount of performance for such a small memory bus. I bet AMD is doubling that and tripling that infinity cache as we squeak on that Rdna 3 architecture. But that's not it. Greymon55 did drop some extra information. For Navi 31, there would be a 256-bit bus, and for Navi 32, a 192-bit one. All of this while still sticking to the good old GDDR6 memory. It looks like 16 and 12 gigabytes of GDDR6 will still be on the table for the higher end models from AMD. He also added that on the Nvidia front, their top-of-the-line AD102 chip would be built on 5 nanometers and have a 384-bit bus. And of course, it would use the newer GDDR6X. There's also a mention of the Ada Lovelace architecture being able to reach frequencies higher than and around 2.2 gigahertz. That's a pretty big jump from the current stock speeds of the RTX 3000 series. They clock mostly around 1900 without overclocks. Now, we are pretty far from these launches of GPUs, so big grain of salt, please. Next up, we got Raja Koduri in the news. During an interview with the Japanese website ASCII, Raja touched on a little more information about their XeHPG's past. One of the questions that I personally had about their discrete solution was, why not build it yourself? I mean, we all saw and knew that Intel's process was a lot better than it seemed. While their 14 nanometer process got reiterated who knows how many times, I mean, we all made fun of it, in the end, it was very, very close to TSMC's 7 nanometer process. And their new 10 nanometer SuperFin process looks pretty promising. So yeah, why not build it yourself? Well, it turns out that it's just about capacity. With the number of CPUs made on the latest technologies and a whole lot of other products being manufactured in-house, Intel just didn't have the space in their manufacturing capacity. Also, in the news, do you want to buy a charger on Amazon or maybe a battery bank? Maybe a USB cable or a pair of headphones? Well, if you do, the choices have just dramatically shrunk. Amazon recently banned over 600 Chinese sellers from their website, and that list of sellers does have some notable names like RavPower, Aukey, and MPOW. This happened because, well, a lot of companies have been using incentivized review tactics, like free gifts or an Amazon gift card if you leave a good review. This was banned back in 2016 2016, and I mean, it took that long for Amazon to finally act. Apparently, those companies didn't get a notice before being banned, which I guess why would they need one? I mean, personally, I did receive one of those little cards with the products that say, hey, $5 from Amazon if you filled up the review and give us a good review. And I never did it because I'm an honest guy. Also, I was way too lazy to do it, and I just lost the card. What about you guys? Have you ever received that little card? What did you do with it? Let me know down below. Anyways, guys, that is pretty much it for the catch-up today. Hopefully you've enjoyed. Drop a like if you liked it, a comment if you want to talk about today's stories. As usual, you can click right here to see the latest video right here, to subscribe to the channel here. Yeah, right there. Stay frosty, my dudes, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.